Man of Steel finally opens in AMC Theatres everywhere this week, and it appears we may not have to wait all that long for a sequel. It's being reported that Warner Brothers has already set a sequel on the fast track to the big screen. Zack Snyder will return as director, and David Goyer will be back as screenwriter. There is currently no word yet if Christopher Nolan will return to produce or not. John, what does Warner Brothers fast-tracking the sequel tell you?
It tells me a couple of interesting things. Number one, they do legitimately love the job that Zack Snyder did on the film. Now, of course, studios will always say about their upcoming movie, oh, we love the job our director did, whether they did or not. But the fact that they're greenlighting it before the film actually comes out clearly sends a message that they really legitimately liked what Zack Snyder did, and they liked what David Goyer did. As far as Christopher Nolan goes, no big deal. We all know, look, Christopher Nolan is going to have his fingerprints on this film, because he was the producer. He's the one, and he was one of the guys who brought in Zack Snyder. He's the one who brought David Goyer's concept to Warner Brothers. His fingerprints are going to be there, but as far as his active involvement goes after that, probably pretty minimal. So I don't think we're going to miss having Christopher Nolan on as a producer. Who cares? In future films. But this tells me two other things. One pretty good, one pretty bad. The one other pretty good thing tells me let me start with the pretty bad thing. The pretty bad thing is that this tells me Warner Brothers doesn't have any immediate plans for other DC Universe films right now. Because if they're just going to move on Superman, that means they're not too rushed to get these other properties developed. That's unfortunate. But on the positive side of that coin, it also kind of tells me that I think they have an idea of where they're going. If they're greenlighting a Man of Steel film already, that means they've already kind of decided where they're heading and what their roadmap is. And that's a positive thing. It's not as quickly developing as I would like it to be, but it's still a positive thing. Amy Rose, what do you think about all this?
I'm definitely not surprised that they are trying to fast track this. I mean, everything we've seen, they're aiming for 100 mil, which I personally don't think is going to be a problem to reach. This is all the rage right now, and good reason. But I don't feel the same way as you do about Christopher Nolan. Who cares if he's not a producer? I think Snyder with Nolan together, that should set the groundwork for all DC films moving forward. I haven't seen Man of Steel yet. We're seeing it so soon. But I just think those two visionaries together it's just going to be perfection. I really have a lot of faith in both of their styles. And Snyder behind the helm and Nolan kind of paving the way, and his relationship with Goyer already. I mean, that happened during The Dark Knight Rises. Man of Steel came about during, a problem when they had to take a break from The Dark Knight, and then all of a sudden Man of Steel came about. So I want this dream team to stick together, personally, and we'll know a lot more after we see it Thursday at midnight. But yeah, I'm not really surprised. I mean, a lot of the times with, they want to strike while the fire's hot, and I definitely think that I'm not that surprised. If it's not as much of a success as they, maybe they'll hold it off a little bit, but just kind of getting production going is not that surprising.
See, I think though there's this wrong perception out there amongst a lot of people that, Christopher Nolan tag teamed with Zack Snyder on this. Christopher Nolan was on set, and him and Zack Snyder would discuss once this movie started shooting, Christopher Nolan wasn't there.
There's pictures of him on set with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but he said himself, he was completely hands off. Like, it was David Goyer's idea, it was David Goyer's script, it's Zack Snyder's film. I would be really excited to have Christopher Nolan back if I actually ever heard Christopher Nolan once say that he had anything to do with it.
Well, he shepherded it. He called Warner Brothers and said, we need to make this happen.
That's just a word. He shepherded it. It's just a word. It doesn't actually mean anything. He didn't actually, once the thing got going, and that's why I said, and I think you'll agree with me on this, that's why I said, I think when we watch this film, we'll see Christopher Nolan's fingerprints on this.
Absolutely.
Setting the direction. But the direction's set. Once they started shooting, and he says he functionally had nothing to do with it once they got going, that kind of tells me, okay, he set the direction, and it doesn't need him to be there anymore now. So I'm like, look, don't get me wrong, I'm with you. All other things being equal, like if I had a choice, either have Christopher Nolan there or don't have Christopher Nolan there, put Christopher Nolan there. But the reality is, the way that Christopher Nolan himself kind of set this up, him not being there for future films, I really don't think is going to have much of an impact on stuff.
He's already the DC golden boy, and he's giving Snyder his chance to do his thing. But I do think, like you said, his fingerprint is on it, and he has shaped this film in a large way, and I want the dream team to stick together. So we'll let you know after Thursday at midnight.
We'll see.
I was going to say, fingerprint or not, who cares? Just let me see the movie.
Hey guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and will keep you up to date on all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk Show. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to find out about our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.